Welcome to NFL Picks Week 3. He's Icewater, I'm Puma, and there's been some shifts in the position, and there's been some great picks and some games that made me mad all weekend. But let's go through the leaderboard. You got Ice at a 25-27 record. You have Southside Al moving up into second place with a 24-8 record. Baller Yinzamama with a 23-9 record in third. The father and son team, Pop and Puma, are at 22-10. Drake is at 20-12. Dread is at 16-16. And Windhawk is at 15-7. What are some of the games, man, that really kind of threw you off? Because I know we all sat there together, and I'm like, man, there's some games here that I just had to go and take a nap because I was pissed off. I just had to cool down for a little bit. But what are some of the games that stood out for you, man?
I'm not gonna lie, because I was on edge on a few games. I was screaming at the TV. I'm sure Puma was thinking, "Is this what you do when you're watching the games?" I thought you were a bit more reserved. I'm like, dude, this is on the edge. I'm screaming, man, what you doing throwing the ball like that? I'm gonna keep it 100. Bengals Jaguars.
Yeah.
When my guy Joe Burrow went down, my fantasy quarterback and my guy, I said, and the way that Jacksonville was playing well also throughout the game, I said, there's no way in hell Bengals will win this game. But to Browning's credit and the rest of the team, they stepped up when they had to, and I was quite surprised and relieved by that. I was excited by that. So that game, the other game too, whew, because I'm not sure if I was only one or two people on this thing. Patriots Dolphins.
That got me. That burned me. Miami burned me twice. Yeah.
And Tua being Tua, when you think about it, still 315 yards passing, two touchdowns. You thought they were on their way. But there's something about the Patriots, and maybe it's Vrabel being over there, and it's almost like the Bill Belichick old school Patriot way. They were playing their butts off. May was doing okay as a quarterback, Stevenson okay, but they just played with some grit. It's almost as if old school football back in the day, like we here and our toughness is going to win this game. And I think that's what happened. Their toughness was like, look, man, you're not gonna take this. Damn it, we won it too. So I like that from them. And see one last one. I had to say, I could go on with a few other ones, but I will say this: the way that the Colts beat the Broncos, bro.
I felt that they cheated that game. I felt they cheated that game because they missed the field goal and they gave him another shot. And I'm like, you know what? I just had to walk out the room because I'm like, okay, they're trying to get the Colts to beat the Broncos. Broncos beat them, bro. That messed me up. That messed me up.
Okay, all right, all right. I'm gonna let you run with that. All I'm gonna say, I've been one of the harshest critics of Daniel Jones. He throws for 316. That team won, and they did what they had to do. I hear you, and I know Denver is Denver and all that, but the fact they're cheating or whatever, woulda, coulda, shoulda, you got to give them some love because we all expected Daniel Jones just to be a train wreck, and there's no way in hell that Indianapolis was going to be winning these games.
All right. Well, Cinderella, it's still at the ball with Daniel Jones. But the only game I was going to mention that game, the last game in Indianapolis and Denver. But Coach Tomlin, what the hell you doing, man? And I told folks last week that don't get so excited about Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers because they beat up on the team that Aaron Rodgers set up last week. Well, how do you muff a kickoff, like that and give away 7 points? How do you do that? That's coaching. I'm not going to blame the player. That's coaching. You got to coach people up. And if you can't get guys to be coached up, to not make bonehead plays like that, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. And so let's get to our picks this week. It's week 3. Of course, Icewater is leading. We got Miami at Buffalo. Everybody's going with Buffalo. We don't have Drake's picks. What's up, bro? What's up, man? You got to get your picks in. So we may get them later and put them up on the page, our Facebook page, the squad, our Facebook page. Check it out. We put all our stuff on there. So check that page out. And so everybody picked Buffalo, so we're going to bypass that. We're not even going to talk about Miami. We talked about them too much already. Atlanta and Carolina. Everybody's going with Carolina. I mean Atlanta. I'm sorry. Everybody's going with Atlanta. They look real good. They look real good. Penix is the truth. Penix, Penix scared. I'm not an Atlanta fan, but if I was playing against and I'm betting against Atlanta, I'm scared of Penix. He's one of them quarterbacks that's like he's gonna make something happen. Your thoughts about Penix, man?
I like the way Penix is playing, but I like the squad overall. Atlanta's playing with some fire. The
Yeah, you were
defense is
talking
playing with
about that when we
fire.
were watching it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, the defense playing with fire. They replaced their kicker. Kicker had 5 field goals.
yeah.
He's the MVP. He came off the street. And just their fire and their resilience. I mentioned to you the young wide receiver London that kind of dropped the ball and thought he was in trouble. Comes right back, has another opportunity. They're playing with fire. They may not be as good as I think they should, that they are. They may not be as good as I think that they are, but they're playing with resilience.
Yeah.
They're playing with fire, and I like it.
All right. Next game on tap. Everybody is going with Green Bay over Cleveland, so we'll skip over that. But the next game, Houston and Jacksonville. Houston, Pop is going with Jacksonville. I'm going with Jacksonville. I just don't trust Houston anymore. Southside Al's going with Houston. Dredd is going with Houston. Windhawk is going with Jacksonville. Ice, you're going with Jacksonville. I'll get your reason why. Baller is going with Houston, and Yinzamam is going with Houston. Why are you going with Jacksonville?
I watched Jacksonville versus Cincinnati in Cincinnati, and it was almost as if they really wanted to win. They really wanted to win, and I think Cincinnati gave a tough effort to get that game done. And what I watched from Houston, it's almost as if Stroud is struggling.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking for some help. The defense is okay, but they're having problems scoring. And I think one thing with Jacksonville, when you think about them picking up Etienne, they have some wide receivers doing some other things. I think they can score enough points to beat Houston. My question is, as you have so greatly reminded us of about that special number for Kansas City being 21, 24, whatever it is.
21 points.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think it's very similar now for Houston. How many points can they score? Can they score at all? And I think Jacksonville has the ability to just do enough to outscore them.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's caught up to what Houston was doing, especially that coach, and he's come up with some more creative ways to help his ball club win. The defense is atrocious, and he needs to protect CJ. He needs to protect him, and I can't say anything else about that. Next game on tap is Cincinnati at Minnesota. Pop, myself, you have Dredd, you have Windhawk. You're picking Minnesota, and Yunzu Mama's picking Minnesota. And Southside Al and Baller are picking Cincinnati. I know why, Baller's picking Cincinnati. He's from Ohio, so he's gonna stay with the home team. Why are you picking Minnesota?
Initially, I was picking Minnesota because of Burrow being out. And I said, well, McCarthy, as I mentioned earlier, if he has time to throw the ball without a lot of pressure, he can complete passes. And then I found out that he's going to be out too. So, and I asked you, I think before, can you tell me the backup in Minnesota?
I don't know the backup's name, but I trust him more than I trust Browner at this particular point of Cincinnati after what I've seen in that game. I don't even know who the backup is, but I can trust. I'm willing to trust whoever Minnesota put up as a backup can do the job. I really do at home. At home.
Oh my God. Did you just we gotta look that up then because I don't believe you just said that.
Yeah.
I
I
really
really
don't.
know backup because I didn't know until recently, just a few minutes ago, a few seconds ago, that the starter's not playing, and he's kind of sort of a rookie. So they must have a veteran quarterback back there that can do the job. So I'm going with Minnesota at home.
Okay, let me say one last thing because I just found out who the backup is.
Oh, don't make me regret that the pick. Who's the backup?
It's on tape, baby. His name is Carson Wentz.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Carson Wentz versus Browning.
I might
Feel
have,
pretty good a
I
little
might
bit.
have to take a loss, but anyway, I'm going with the home team. Come on, defense. Come on, Vi Queen defense. Let's go. Next game on tap is Pittsburgh at New England. Pop is going with New England as well as Dread, Windhawk, and the rest of us, myself, you, Southside Al, and of course, Yinja Mama is going with Pittsburgh because she's a Pittsburgh Steeler fan, and Ball is going with Pittsburgh. So, you know, I don't know about Pittsburgh. They have to recover from that loss last week. That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing to lose the way you lose and give up 7 points off of the lack of coaching. Is preposterous. So hopefully they'll get it together. They usually don't give up a game like that and then lose the next week. So I'm going with that trend with Pittsburgh. Your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, the main reason why I'm selecting Pittsburgh is the factor that Seattle last week, a team that they lost to, had at least somewhat of a veteran quarterback that could move the ball around, so he's kind of used to that. And New England's quarterback is a little still light in experience in May, right? And I think Pittsburgh's defense will really go after him and focus on that. And they really don't need to score a lot of points. I mean, we say that Aaron Rodgers maybe not 4 touchdowns, but the balance between the two of the pressure of the Pittsburgh defense and somewhat of whatever offense shows up for Pittsburgh, I think will be enough against New England. Because New England came off a hell of a win. And to be able for them to go back to back, they might just be exhausted. It might be a lot to ask back to back. So that's why I chose Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and I was telling people last week, don't get sold by the Pittsburgh Aaron Rodgers because they beat a team that Aaron Rodgers kind of set up last year. So for the last few years. So don't run away. I think Pittsburgh's going to be running to the Super Bowl anytime soon. That's who the team you saw last week is the team that they are. They are not that superpower team anymore. I don't believe. Next game on tap is the Los Angeles Rams at Philly. Everybody's going with Philly, and rightly so. I went with Philly last game against Kansas City, and one of the defensive linemen was getting up in Hurts' face saying, "You only got 100 yards." And he's like, "Bro, we win in the game." So yeah, you only got 100 yards, but if you win in the game, and that's what our coach used to do in high school, don't talk to the other players. Just tell them, point up at the scoreboard, and your defense, your offense, and Kansas City can't score more than 21 points. They have to prove me wrong. So we'll go to the next game. The New York Jets at Tampa Bay. It's New York Jets across the board. Ginger Mama picks the New York Jets. She's the only one there. Indianapolis at Tennessee. Everybody across the board is going with Indianapolis with Danny Dimes. Now he's finally earning the name. I still don't believe in him, but I got to go with him because the last 2 weeks he burned me. Your thoughts on Danny Dimes, man?
Danny Dimes is Danny Dimes. Yeah, I don't know between Mike Jones, Daniel Jones. To me, it's the same person. So I don't know what the hell is going on. Look, but they're winning. So Danny Dimes, it's just what it is. But hey, when you're producing and your team's behind you, it's hard to not choose them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Next game on tap, the Las Vegas Raiders, who took a beating last night. They are going against the Washington Commanders. Just found out we don't know if Jalen Daniels is going to play. Pop is going with the Raiders. Everybody else is going with Washington. Hopefully, Jalen can play, but if he can't, the Commanders might think about resting him. And against the Raiders, my trend is, and what I've seen over the years, that the team that plays on Monday night that travels tends to lose, and they're taking a West Coast to East Coast trip. So, take it for what it's worth on that one. Next game on tap is Denver at the Los Angeles Chargers. I thought the Chargers got the Denver Broncos, got hosed in the game against Indianapolis because they missed that kick. But everybody's going against the Chargers. What do you think about the Chargers this year?
The jury is still out for me, but I think that they are improving. I think they're starting to understand what Harbaugh's trying to get across, right? And I think that the one thing that needs to happen is for him to continue to push into throw knowledge and confidence into his quarterback because the quarterback does not need to be MVP like, okay? He doesn't. He just needs to be the manager. He needs to be able to make the throws when necessary that they need. The defense is still going to be okay like that. They're still getting some decent running game, recently. I think J.K. Dobbins is over there now, kind of
Yep.
like showing to be the guy from the Ohio State University. But I think that they're starting to move forward and just be hard nosed on defense, do enough on offense. They're starting to actually have enough talent on offense now, particularly as the wide receivers, to get things done. They just need the quarterback to be consistent, just be a good manager. And I think that's why Harbaugh is really diving into this guy and saying, hey, you don't have to be great, but you can do this. A la Jim McMahon. I mean, not Jim McMahon, but yeah, McMahon for Chicago back in the day.
I thought I heard Ryan Clark say last night that the Charger quarterback was better than Kaepernick. I don't know about that. I do not know about that one. Maybe I heard him wrong. But when I rewound it and listened to it, I'm like, did he just say that this quarterback is better than Kaepernick, who took that San Francisco team that coach took to the Super Bowl, is better? No, I don't know. And you're right, the jury's still out on that. So we'll see. We'll see. Next game on tap is New Orleans at Seattle. Everybody's picking Seattle except Dredd. So I don't know about that. I don't trust New Orleans. And every time I watch New Orleans, and I said it with you, I'm not picking them because they passed up on a quarterback and they needed a quarterback. And they passed up on the one they should have had that should have been playing. And their quarterback is not good this year. Their quarterback position is not good in New Orleans. And that coach is getting his just due, and that organization is getting their just due. Next game on tap, this is going to be, to me, this was a slam dunk. I thought everybody would choose this. Dallas at Chicago. They will be here. And usually, I don't know. Windhawk is picking Chicago. And maybe he has some traction just to pick up on some games because he's in last place at this particular time. But I got to go with Dallas. Dallas, was given a gift by the Giants. The Giants had the game and just got outcoached at the end. Your thoughts on that game? Because we sat and watched that game too.
Yeah, well, I mean, from the standpoint of the Giants, they was right there was a gift, and Dallas kind of got lucky. But kudos again to that field goal kicker. A field goal kicker for Dallas is amazing, and he's going to put them and keep them in a lot of games that perhaps they would lose. So he's for real, and he's showing you that. But in regards to Chicago, I think that Winhawks probably looking at the standpoint that if Dallas can fumble it, they probably will. And I think Chicago is due for one of those games. They're due. I didn't say they're gonna win. I said they're due. So who knows? I don't know. It's really crazy over there. They're getting ready for the stadium. I hope that new stadium helps them because it sounds like they're going through with it now.
Hopefully.
But
Hopefully.
yeah, yeah, hopefully it will help them because I don't know. Maybe they've tried to change over front office personnel for a while and that doesn't seem to help at all. I don't know. You changed 19 quarterbacks. It still would. I guess it really wasn't Justin Fields' fault, but that's for another day.
Yeah, and they're predicting rain for Sunday, so they may have a chance if it's sloppy. They may have a chance. Turnovers, all that other stuff. Next game on tap is Arizona at San Francisco. I wanted to go with my little man, but it's like, nah, I don't know. They're going to San Francisco. Me and Pop are going with San Francisco. Southside Al is going with Arizona. Dredd is going with San Francisco. You and Windhawk and Baller and Yinzermama are all going for Arizona. Can't believe I'm going against my little guy, but they seem to have real big battles in San Francisco. So we'll see if San Francisco pulls this one out with their defense. I don't even want to hear what you got to say on that one. Next game on top is Kansas City at the New York Giants, and everybody's picking Kansas City. They are 0-2. But Windhawk is picking the New York Giants. I guess they're at home, so we will see. We got to get him on the show because he's making some wild picks early, and we got to get him on the show. We talked to him, and we were with him over the weekend in Vegas. So yeah, we gotta get him with all these picks. And he got some traction to make in these picks. But the last game, I want you to talk about this one because I'm the only one who's picking Detroit. Is Detroit at Baltimore. And everybody's picking Baltimore. I still don't trust Baltimore, even though they put up a lot of points over the weekend. I'm gonna go with Detroit in that defense and Coach Campbell. And they put it on the Bears. They seem to have their swagger back. And I think they're gonna go up against Baltimore, and I think they're gonna smack them. Your thoughts?
Wow. That's all I can say is wow on the last two things you just said. On the last two things you just said, wow. Wow, wow, wow. I will say this. I do not believe just because you dropped 51 on Chicago, that's gonna make you better down the line. So you drop 51, everybody's feeling good, they celebrating. You got you're on Jimmy Kimmel Live and all that other stuff. They got the Roots with them, and that's great. Everybody had a celebration on Monday, which is wonderful. Great. But now you head out to Baltimore, right? And say what you want to. They have a great defense, Detroit does. But on the other hand, we know Marmar. Marmar started moving around in that pocket. Now they started out slow against Cleveland. They ended up with 41.
Yeah.
And if you go after, as a Goff, I think the quarterback is in Detroit,
Yeah.
you kind of rattle him a little bit. For you turn around, Marmar dropped ball off to Flowers. Edwards is overdue the tight end for a big game. They got a little running back thing going on. And here's what I would say to you. Most importantly, Derrick Henry was subpar. And I don't know, was that because they went to the pass more, which could be, but when that man has only like 23 yards rushing, you got to know that next week they're coming back with a full strength attack with him at the forefront. Now, sooner or later, they're going to wear down that defense. They're going to wear down that Detroit defense. And what's going to happen is while they will focus on Henry, Marmar going to come out of there too. He'll probably have about 79 yards running. So between the two and a little passing here and there, I'm not sure, unfortunately, the Detroit defense is going to be able to hold up.
I'm wondering if the Ravens have lost their confidence in Henry, or if they're doing the smoke screen saying, hey, we lost our confidence, we ain't going to run him, and then they try to just put him on full blast in this game. We'll see. It'll be on Monday night, and we'll check it out. But it seemed like they didn't have confidence in him. And I think when we were watching the game, we looked at the stats. I think he had like 11 carries for like 20-something, 30 yards. And it's like, ooh, that's not the Derrick Henry that we know. And usually last year, what they were doing is holding him until the second quarter and then having him run where he has fresh legs and maybe the defense beat up a little bit more. This year, they starting him and they're putting him in. But that formula didn't work against the team they lost to. So we'll see.
I hear what you're saying. Well, maybe it's the strategy they go, we try, as you said earlier, we try to start with him.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not working, then if Lamar can go back, Lamar Jackson that is, can go back and start throwing the ball and he starts slinging it and it's working, that's okay. You don't have to have, I think the misconception sometimes with fans and the media or whoever, when you look at things, you think there has to be a certain way. The beautiful thing about strategizing and definitely managing on the fly, depending on what's going on. If Henry is struggling and shutting down, let Marmar throw the ball. And I think that's what happened. That's why it started off slow, but they ended up with 41 points. So if he can move the ball and something's working, great. Why do you have to, and even this happens with Saquon Barkley, why do you have to just drive a running back into the ground, where he has 35 carries? If it's not working, throw the damn ball.
Yeah. All right. That's our picks. Check us out on Facebook, The Squad on Facebook, for our updated leaderboard and also our picks that are coming real soon on that page. Follow us. Make some money. Make some money, folks. We're making money in Las Vegas. We're making money on the apps. Make some money.
Hit that like button. Subscribe, man. What's up? We can't get no.
Hit some comments.
Talk to us.
All right. See you next week.